Hey guys, this is Gary J. This is a quarantine tank that I set up. It's only 1.5 gallons, 1.5 gallon tank. So it's not that big, but it's big enough for what I need it for. I bought this at Walmart and I paid $20 for this tank. You've got the tank, you've got a filter and a pump that comes with it, and on top you got the LED light, which you see there illuminating the plastic glass. Now I added a heater in it, which is one of my older heaters, and I've got a thermometer here. I added a couple of things on the inside. But I've got about $25 in this 1.5 gallon tank. And like I said, I'm using it for a quarantine tank because you hate to get a new fish and then take the fish and put it in your main aquarium, and then 2 or 3 days later you got ick or a problem, with some illness on the fish, and you just distribute it throughout your aquarium. So it's easier just to quarantine the fish before you put them in there, and keep an eye on them for a few days and make sure they don't have anything before you put them in your aquarium, your main aquarium. And so all I did was add this air stone to it also. But I checked the beta that I got just a little while ago before I bought this particular beta, and made sure that it didn't have any spots on it, that its eyes were clear, that its fins were standing up, that it was active, and all the telltale signs of the fish having a sickness or whatnot. Beautiful beta. Anyway, sometimes I take pictures of them too with a Nikon camera, and blow it up and look at them real good just to make sure they look okay, especially when I get a new fish. And so hopefully in a few days I'll be able to take this beta out and place him in the main tank if he doesn't have anything that shows up. And if he does have something that shows up, I can treat him in this 1.5 gallon, which that's not a lot of water, but you can see for the size of this beta, this is more than enough room for the beta. Even though this beta's been in here only about three hours, I fed the beta a little while ago, and the beta actually ate its food, which a lot of times they're really stressed out, so they don't want to eat. But in this case, the beta is doing really, really well. So I think it likes its environment right here. And so I just wanted you guys to know that if you need a quarantine tank, which is really important, I think, when you're getting new fish and want to make sure they're okay before you put them in your general population, this is a pretty cheap way to go. I got about $25 in all of this, and so that's not bad at all. And if anything happens to the fish, you can treat the fish right where it's at, and it's a lot easier to do that. We've got 4 new neon tetras. You can see right here. They're always really pretty. And we've got 2 Harlequin raspberry, I think it's pronounced. And these are really pretty fish too. And we've got our beta still in here in the back. And we've let these bags of water stay in here for about 30 minutes to acclimate. And I've added a little bit of the water from this tank into these bags to let them acclimate to that too. And so after about 15-20 minutes, I'll put them in the aquarium, or this quarantine tank we have here. And I'll watch them for a few days, make sure they don't have anything. But while they're in this position here, it's a good position to look at them real carefully and see if you see any specks of ick, little white spots, or any type of growth or malformations on them that would indicate that they have any problem at all. So, and I also took pictures of them with my Nikon camera, and I'll blow those pictures up and look at them extremely careful then. That way when you blow them up, you can blow them up as big as you want, especially if you're using like 10 megapixel, 16 megapixel cameras. So you can really see then if they have anything on them or not. And the beta's doing fine. So that's where we're at now with our quarantine tank. And I think these are going to be fine, but you just want to make sure before you put them in your general population that they have something. It's easier to catch it now. And one thing too, you know, if you have a fish in your aquarium, your main aquarium, and it gets ick or some fungus or problem, you can take it out. You want to quarantine it and not treat the whole tank. You want to take the fish out of your main aquarium and put it in one of these quarantine aquariums like this, and treat the fish that way. I'll let you know how this turns out. Have a good day, guys. One other thing too, the water that the aquarium store or tropical fish store or wherever you buy your fish at, the water that they take out of their tank and put in these plastic bags, make sure you never pour that water into your aquarium or even into your quarantine tank. That water could have some disease in it, and you can introduce that to your quarantine tank or to your live tank if you did that. So you always want to make sure that you always take the water out of these bags and pour it into another container like this right here. So that water never goes into their original tanks, and that just protects you from having any type of problem introducing a new bacteria or something like that into your aquarium. Hey guys, we have the fish in the aquarium now. We have the two Harlequin Rosa Bar, I think is the way it's pronounced, and 4 neon tetras, and we have our beta. I had a little bit more shrubbery in there or plants so that fish can hide a little better. But everybody seems fine so far. And we got our aerator in the back. So in a couple more days I'll be taking the beta out. And then in probably just a few more days I'll be taking these fish out and putting them in the main aquarium. But it's looking good. Again, this is a 1.5 gallon aquarium.